Hello guys, here is Abdullah Zalul, and this is the third video of how to build a startup company project using Laravel when you don't know the next scenario. So today we are going to discuss database and caching choice. Of course, when you work for a startup, you will have a lot of challenges. You will have a daily changeable immature business needs. You will have a missing positions like no DevOps founder, no engineering manager, sometimes testers. You need to deliver your tasks fastly with a good quality within a very narrow time frame. You will try to automate the things that you doesn't have an experienced person for it, and you will try to search for a community support. So today I compare the four main database types, and the winner was PostgreSQL. One will say, what about Mongo? You can work with NoSQL data for your changeable business needs. They are scaling out horizontally, so they are good. Okay, here is a developer called Mihai. He is a Romanian developer. He compared PostgreSQL and Mongo, every database outside of its own comfort zone. Mean he tried to use PostgreSQL with NoSQL data like JSON-B, JSON binary, and use Mongo. Then he tried to use Mongo with relations and lookups and joins versus PostgreSQL. And the winner was PostgreSQL. I will say now, Mongo have a good experience with big data, but actually they will work with a big duplicated data. So imagine that we have 1,000 category, and every category have 1 million product. So every time you update the category, you will write this 1 million product. This actually what is done with Mongo. And of course, if you go for lookups, you will get a very bad performance. So PostgreSQL is very good at both approach, SQL and NoSQL. Okay, they have no duplicated data. In addition to this, you can work with something called computed relation from the JSON. You can put a JSON constraint called the JSON scheme. So they validate the inserted JSON, and the JSON here is the JSON binary one. Mostly have two type of JSON, JSON plain text with which is JSON, and the another one is JSON binary for a binary format. So PostgreSQL is very good for this. PostgreSQL is a fully featured database. They have a lot of features, something like checks, which is more scalable and maintainable than enums. Something called gen, which is a generalized index for full text search, means you can put a key value pair at your own JSON binary and then do a full text search. Let's say you have a key called author and it carries the author name as a value, and you have a key called post and it carries the post content. And you search for a keyword called him. So you will use the gen index and everything is optimized for you. In addition to this, if we talk about the joins and the scalability, Mongo needs to iterate the query to the router for complete join. So because they scale horizontally. And PostgreSQL have to just iterate inside the current node. With PostgreSQL 16, they also can do it synchronously, which makes the relations very fast. So Mongo is good, but is not good at this scenario. Mongo, when you work with ACID, not easily to be ACID, I know, They have atomicity and consistency and isolation and durability with a different way because they aren't a SQL database. In addition to this, PostgreSQL is supports SQL natively and OOB database. But the PostgreSQL is very good at concurrency. When you compare PostgreSQL with MySQL, when they insert the data, so MySQL try to order their index tree every time you insert. So you cannot work good with UUID, but PostgreSQL doesn't do this. They doesn't search for the tuple ID, the last tuple ID to insert. They insert without doing this. So at the concurrency level, PostgreSQL is very good rather than MySQL. Maria have a limitation working with JSON because they work with JSON as a plain text, not a JSON binary. So I'm a big fan of PostgreSQL. Here is some links for the conversion I will put at the end of the video. Let's talk about the caching. The most common database here is Redis. So you will use Redis for your queues, for sessions, and of course for search. I have found a package called L5 repository. This package here. This package implement the criteria and implement a cache manager. So when you use their own cache manager, you will implement nothing. You just configure it for caching. This is a global configuration for caching. And you may choose the method you need for caching. In addition to this, you can select which repository you need to cache, and you can implement this interface and customize your caching way, and you may use a ready implemented trait, and simply that's it. This done out of the box uh, without any installing for any tools or anything. They use the current cache driver. They have a criteria class. Criteria something like scope, but they carry multiple scopes once they separate your queries at one layer class. So here is example, this repository push this criteria, inject this criteria, and you can push the criteria, then chain, boop another criteria, and that's it. And here is the criteria that search for a user. So if you say this repository push this criteria, they will inject this query model where user ID equivalent to authenticated user ID. And in addition to this, you don't need to implement your criteria, although because they have a request criteria that will search and will implement the search for your repository. You just fill this property at your own repository. You will make name and email, for example, searchable, and the search will work. And in addition to this, they have a relationship search also. You can choose which operator you need for every parameters, so the search is already implemented and already cached, and you can customize it at any time. And repository design pattern also implemented with this package. So you doesn't need to do any effort here, and you will find a good tested code to implement. So simply that's it. Please check the links below. I will give you all the links like the conversion between Mongo and MySQL and the other links. Thanks in advance. Thanks a lot. Have a nice day. Bye bye.